Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Fallout 76 video on the channel. Just in the last week we got a new update to the PTS, giving us our first look at the new update that's meant to be coming out to Fallout 76 in September this year. There is no exact date on when it'll actually come out yet, as it is still very early days, but we have got our chance to look through the patch notes and also test some things out in the PTS to give us a little taste for what's to come. In this video I'm going to be covering 6 different big changes coming into the game, so stay tuned to learn about all of them. And if you enjoy them, then definitely hit that like button and subscribe for more Fallout 76 news on the channel, including the lovely one which I posted yesterday showing even more changes which I won't be talking about today. Let's dive straight in. Alright, at number 1 we have the Mischief Knight returning to the game. If you didn't play many moons ago, this was about, 4 years ago now I think? This was a Halloween event which came out for 1 year only, and it was one of the kind of biggest renowned events that ever got added into the game. It is a seasonal event, so it should only really appear around the Halloween type of time zone of the year, but originally this was focused over at the White Springs, and the only issue with it was it was extremely buggy and it got taken down and we never seen it ever again. It did come with some really cool rewards, like a skin for the combat rifle, which was a kind of like Halloween theme with pumpkins on and stuff, and a lot of other stuff which have been added in, like the jack-o'-lanterns shorts and suits and stuff that have been added into other events and stuff now. But now, after about 3 or 4 years, we're finally seeing it return to the game. Now, we can't play it just yet in the PTS, but it is coming for testing. I did jump on the other day to try and get some footage of it, but it wasn't actually spawning in. But a weird thing about this is it's actually going to be changing locations down into the new Skyline Valley at the Rabadan camp rather than at the White Springs. Now, the next big change that's coming in is all focused around legendary crafting. This is something that came in the game quite a while back now, and it has had a lot of complaints about it because it was so hard to get good weapons or armor pieces that you really wanted to pick up. You could have like a higher chance of getting the weapon that you want because you could select the weapon that you want, so like a fixer for example, and you could just keep re-rolling and re-rolling until you get the one you want. But now it's going to be getting some new changes which is going to make it 100 times better. Fortunately, these changes are actually available in the PTS, and you can go and test them out for yourself if you have it on Steam. And basically what these changes are going to allow you to do is you can now go to a workbench and scrap in your legendary weapons. So what you want to do is actually save up the decent legendary weapons that you find, like a Blood Eater or Anti-Armor, whichever one you may want to use. And then you can go scrap these for a chance to earn either a mod or unlock the ability to actually craft these mods. When you've unlocked them, then you can use the legendary particles, which you get from actually scrapping in your legendary weapons, to then craft the weapon that you actually want. So let's say you've got a fixer and it already has some really good rolls on it. Let's say your second star and your third star is your ideal legendary attributes that you want on the weapon, but you just wanted to change it to a Blood Eater or an Anti-Armor. Then you go and craft some unwanted Blood Eater and Anti-Armor weapons. Then all of a sudden you get the mod for it, or you unlock the, not the exact plan, but the ability to craft that effect. Then you can apply it to the weapon. Now the downside to this is once you actually apply this to the weapon, you will no longer be able to trade the weapon. That though is really the only downside. You can have a much higher chance of getting the weapon you want because you're actually in control of crafting it. It just means that you'll have to grind out trying to get the decent legendary weapons, with the decent effects on that you want, to scrap them to get the actual mods and stuff that you want for said weapon that you're going to plan to use. Now the weird thing about this is the legendary module take to actually craft these things has shot up substantially. It's a lot more expensive, meaning that you actually have to spend a lot more, and it takes a bit more time to actually build up your legendary modules compared to before. Now another thing about this is legendary cores, which you would also use to craft legendary weapons and armor as of the current moment in time, the live servers. They are being re-evaluated because really they're not really going to be in use after this update. So they are trying to think of ways to kind of adapt and use them in other ways, but we'll have to wait and see to find out what they're actually planning on doing with this. There is a little note in there as well where they actually mention that this will not be released into the live game until they believe that this is 100% ready. So this means it could possibly get delayed if it's not working as they intended. Now coming in at number 3 is a new kind of social activity that you can get involved with called Best Builds. Best Builds is basically going to be a kind of new feature added into the game where camp builders can build up their camps, take some pictures of them, and then share them with the community. But not only just share them, you can actually get players come and visit your camp and vote on it by hitting like a like button, so to speak, kind of like you would on a YouTube video. Now to do this, basically you open up your map and go to your camp slots menu, and then you can actually kind of like upload and share a build of your your best build, let's just say. So you can take some pictures, you can also add a theme to it. So let's say if it was a pre-existing structure, a communist camp, whatever it may be, you can then link that into the theme. People can browse it, but not only just browse it, it'll actually be in like a hour rotation. So when you're in an adventure mode server, it'll actually rotate every hour on the map, so people then come visit your camp even if you're not in the game. I very much doubt they're going to be able to destroy it or anything like that, so don't worry about that. But they can go have a walk around and then go onto the map and click on the little icon for it, which will be different to your normal player icon. It'll be like a blue one. So you can then click on that and hit the like button to kind of build up likes for your camp build. So it's a really cool thing for camp builders and something that should be really good when added in. Now at number 4, in this update, one of the big things that is meant to be coming in is a combat rebalance. This is involving a whole different bunch of stuff, one of the main ones being fire and poison damage over time. So basically they're being reviewed and changed, so this is now available to test in the PDS. You can go in and test out like the likes of the flamer and stuff, just to see what the damage difference is like. Is it working better? Is it worse? But there has been some stuff coming out around this already. I'm no tester on this type of thing, I'll end up messing it up. I have done some in the past, but I don't know, I just sadly with my full-time job and stuff, I don't have as much time as some other people who can jump on and properly do the justice and test these weapons out properly. Now with these combat rebalances, there is also a bunch of additional weapon changes being outlined. This includes increased damage for the floater freezer grenades, reduce the damage over time for the cremator's burn to account for it now scaling with weapons damage bonuses, reduce the self-damage dealt to the player when firing the kabloom, reduce the recoil and base AP for the railway rifle. From what I've heard in the community, this is possibly an actual nerf to the railway rifle, which as you may know is one of the best weapons in the game, especially for taking down the end game bosses. There's also a bit where it adds on to the railway rifle saying it's reduced the fire rate and removed the AP cost reduction for the railway rifle automatic piston receiver. So 2 changes there to the railway rifle. Also the new weapon, the Headhunter Scythe, has had its damage type changed to bleed damage. So a few little changes there to different weapons. And then on top of this, there is also going to be some creature rebalances. This includes the likes of the Deathclaw, the Snallygaster, Scorch Beast, and a bunch of other different creatures all listed in the patch notes, which you can go and have a look. I'll leave a link for that down in the description. But also on this, data miners have found some interesting stuff about the health changes of endgame bosses. So in the Fallout 76 data mining community, MapX actually shared in different stats on the Scorch Beast Queen, Earl, and also the Ultraside Titan, showing that the health changes has shot up dramatically. The Scorch Beast Queen's going from 104,000 health to 349,000 health if it's a 3-star. The Earl Williams is going to 96,000 to 480,000 if he's a 3-star, which, you know, he pretty much always is, isn't he? The Ultraside Titan is also going from 99,200 to 330,000 HP, which is pretty substantial. So hopefully something comes in to try and mitigate this and allow us to actually kill these things, because that is a lot of health and it's going to cost a lot of bullets to take these things down. Also outlined in the lovely patch notes for this update in the PDS, there was some perk changes which has come in, which really kind of confused me to a degree. So there's 4 different perks which are currently in the game. We have Vaccinated, Thirst Quencher, Iron Stomach, and Natural Resistance, all of which have had their effects actually changed, and it doesn't really make that much sense to me. So a lot of them is just saying that it's changed from, like, so for example, Thirst Quencher is meant to be all about drinking, obviously drinks and stuff in the game, and now it's all about increasing your action points whilst not diseased based on your endurance stats. And all of them, as you can see on screen, are all based around your endurance stats now, and they're all just basically about different resistances. So it doesn't fully link up to what they're all about. Iron Stomach, another one, all about eating food. Now it just says increases damage reduction while not diseased, which does not link in. So I don't understand. Why would you not just make new perks for this, or just take them ones out, replace them? I don't know. And moving on to the next point, and the final point for this video, is going to be all around daily ops. Daily ops is getting 2 new locations, with the Glassed Cavern getting added in, and also the Atlantic City Community Centre. Daily ops is kind of the thing where not that many people are still interested in it, but we are still getting a lot of new locations getting added in, so definitely want to kind of test out and just see how you enjoy them, I suppose. That though, ladies and gentlemen, is all the main changes coming in with this new update set to be coming out in September. I've got a whole bunch of other information also coming out on the channel in the next week or so definitely stay tuned for that. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe so you do not miss it, and go check out yesterday's video where I talk about some more changes which have been found in the files. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.